Well, nice thing about the Acura in general is that it has performance underpinnings. So everything that we offer are performance oriented. In terms of, yes, the MDX is a taller, wider car, but it does have a super handling all-wheel drive. It has the 6-speed transmission. It also has paddle shifters, but this all-wheel drive can actually turn your outside wheel, so it creates a very, it has a torque vector which kind of allows you to turn that car a lot flatter. So you can be very aggressive with the handling capabilities of it, but it has 300 horsepower, so it's very quick off the line, relatively compared to, like an X5 or an ML 350 or something like that. But it's actually shorter than the TL in terms of length, but it has a wider stance, so it has even though it's a big feeling car, that wide stance gives you that very low center of gravity, so you can toss it and turn it, and you're not gonna feel like you're gonna roll over. There's a new technology called advanced active cruise control. That's on the advanced package, but that allows you to. There's a radar in the front of the car that allows you to. It senses like about 300 feet ahead of you, but it warns you if somebody's nodding off. They're gonna warn you if they're gonna crash into something. It's got to give you 3 warnings. First, it sets off alarm on the interior dash, saying that you're about to hit something. If you don't react to that, it's going to actually start tugging at your seatbelt, and it still keeps on giving that warning to brake. And then for some reason, if that's not working, it's actually going to start slowing down your car. It won't prevent you from crashing, but it's got to mitigate that force of the collision. So that's called the adaptive cruise control, and also the collision mitigation braking system. But that same radar allows you to, if you're taking a long road trip, it allows you to set a certain distance to a car. So you don't have to fidget with the cruise control buttons. It automatically sets a distance predetermined what's comfortable for you. There's also a cool feature. It's called blind spot warning system. It's not really, the visibility on the MDX is great, but it's just another enhanced feature that just, so if somebody's driving in a blind spot, there's actual little symbols on the rearview mirror that flashes if somebody's in your blind spot. So, yeah. And of course you still have the standard side curtain airbags and the side airbags and the tire pressure monitoring system. But great thing about the MDX is that it's very nimble. So it's good visibility, but very short braking. It's great handling. So hopefully you can avoid that accident, but God forbid that you get in an accident, you have a lot of protection. Everything. They love the size of this car, the width. They like the kind of everything's at your fingertips. The nice thing about this tech package, the navigation system, is that it gives you voice recognition. So nice thing about this is that pretty much there's a lot of buttons right here, but they really want you to focus on touching this button right here so you can keep your eye on the road and you don't have to be distracted here, but you can give it verbal commands. It understands close to 700 voice commands, so you can change your navigation controls, your climate control, your radio, all by your voice. It's very complex technology, but it's very, very user-friendly. And I enjoy having the people, when I'm teaching them, they go like, older people too, their eyes just kind of light up and say, wow, I can do this. So, but in terms of music, there's a new thing called a hard disk drive. That's where the database is, it's hard drive driven now, so the processor, it's a lot quicker to give you voice commands. But you can search music through your voice, and you can download up to 300 CDs into the hard drive of this car, which is awesome. So if you're very much of an audiophile, you'll very much appreciate this music system. So 450 watt amp, 10 speakers. This is a single CD player right here, but this equates to 300 CDs that you can have. It's everything. It's, that's the thing about the MDX, it's very multi-dimensional, so it touches on everything. It's very, in the marketplace, it is probably one of the most highest performing vehicles out there, but it's fuel efficient, it's one of the highest safety ratings out there, has the highest resale value out there, but it has great room, it has great luxury features, has a lot of advanced technologies that's very user-friendly. So that's why it's one of our best sellers, just because it gives you everything for a reasonable price. Navigation system, again, that's pretty much the main option on this car. Nice thing about Acura is that everything is a lot of it's standard, so there's not a whole lot of confusion with very straightforward in terms of models, but leather standard, you know, power everything, sunroof, Bluetooth, that gives you hands-free calling. I love that feature, love that feature. You know, 6-speed transmission, all of it's automatic. These have these little paddle shifters here. These have the HID xenon lights. Nice thing about these lights is that you'll see about 100 feet farther compared to halogens. They last twice as long. They definitely add some style to it. Again, this is the advanced features that gives you the blind spot warning. So if somebody's in your blind spot, this will actually light up and warns you that you might run into somebody if you actually made a lane change. You know, our clientele, and especially for me being here so long, I'm not a pushy type guy. So, and it's a very big purchase that they're, you know, potentially spending a lot of money on. So, of course, they have every right to come in and grab information. We're definitely here to kind of be more information giving so they can make a wise decision. But when people do a lot of research, and I'm confident in the fact that they're going to come back and say, you know what, in black and white, also I saw it in physical presence and I drove it and I touched it. But when you compare it to our competition, it's a great value for what you get for the money. So yes, but of course if it doesn't work out for them, we're not going to lock the doors, and you know, it's a business, so it's a competitive market, but in terms of competition, it's the best. No tune-ups for this car for 100,000 miles. It's a 3.7 liter V6. It's 300 horsepower, so it's very much good power up in the mountains, good for passing on highways. But yeah, everything's kind of covered up, so there's really no reason for you to get underneath here unless you're very mechanically inclined. But that's one of the nice kind of some reassurance and peace of mind that people don't have to be underneath here. They don't, yeah, if they want to look at the engine they can, but they don't have to work on it a lot. So, but everything's over the front wheel, so that kind of adds to the stability of the vehicle. Anything that's in maybe clear bottles, that's the only thing you have to keep an eye on, like windshield wiper fluid, but that's pretty much it on this. So, I played with this for probably the first 10 minutes when we got it, but it has a power tailgate. But one of the reasons why this car is so popular is, you know, in terms of outside, it's a mid-size SUV, so it's not gargantuan like a Suburban or Expedition, but in terms of families, it has a third row of seats. So it can accommodate up to 7 people. Everything has 3-point seat belts, 10 cup holders in this vehicle. But just in case if you don't need people, you can also fold that second row flat too, so you can have, you know, 6-foot, almost plywood kind of type materials in there. There's also you know, additional storage back here, but this is one of the garnishes. They kind of redesigned the exhaust a little bit in terms of 2011. I love the MDX. I personally don't need it right now, but I love it. Yeah, it's a great car. So it kind of sells itself. So yeah, it's been our core models. So the TL in terms of sedan and the MDX, it's been a solid brand.